opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of the station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.
Welcome to the Fourth Line Hockey Show. I'm your host, Willie Plouffe. What a great show we had today. We're going to talk all about being a goaltender. And I got my winger right beside me, Gerald Hasby. Gerald, how are you today?
Well, I'm good. I'm excited for the goalies. Finally, we do a show for the goalies.
You know, if they can't stop the puck, we're in trouble. We all played hockey, and the goalies always get the heat, always get in trouble. I'm wearing Pavlik's jersey because I love goaltending. I'm not a goaltender, but they stop everything for us.
But you got the Pavlik, I got Hasek. We got Hasek going, so two of our favorite goalies. But who was your favorite goalie growing up? Everybody loved the goalie. Who was it?
Well, my favorite goalie would have to be Cheevers. I love the way he, did his gig, moving around. And actually, a little bit also is Billy Smith. Billy Smith used his stick, and this was just kind of crazy out there.
Well, mine, I was a Jet fan growing up back in the WHA days, and I got to meet Joe Daly. He was one of my dad's friends. So, what better place to be doing the show here in the goal area at Royal Sports on Pembina Highway. This is crazy. Goal pads everywhere.
I tell you something. I feel like the pucks are flying right by my head right now. Back at Royal Sports Shop, we're always on. What's going on? Jeff, our camera guy, and the other Jeff camera guy, throw a puck at me. He got the smiles going on. This show's a great day. We got Ryan Searin from GDI coming in, talking about all about being a goalie, the programs they offer. A great program over down at the rink. It's going to be a great show today.
Absolutely. Now, to be a goalie, you want to stop the puck. When I was playing, I wanted to get out of the way of the puck. Now, everybody knows a goalie. They got a few screws loose. I got a brother who's a goalie, and he definitely fits under that category. Willie, I think you got the mentality of a goalie.
Oh, that's so funny. Jared's always throwing shots at me, but we'll just ride that wave right now because he knows that I can stop anything that's going on. Being a goaltender, the equipment, we're going to talk a little bit about the equipment also, where it's gone from, the smaller pads to the big pads to the gear. It's so important nowadays for these guys to keep being protected. The shots are coming in at 100 miles an hour.
And the gear really, it's tailored towards the style of play. And Ryan's going to talk all about that. And, about conditioning for goalies, about strategy a little bit, about all that stuff that you may not think is important, but is really the whole basis of what today's goaltending is all about.
Today's about, Ryan's here talking about, GDI. He's the president of GDI. He's also the assistant manager of the Rink-Training facility. We're going to talk a little bit about the rink, what's going on there, what they have going for players coming up. And, especially this episode is all about goaltenders because sometimes they get forgot about.
Well, definitely, and there's two goalies on every team. So, and quite frankly, they're the most important players on the team. If you don't have good goaltending, where's your team at?
I'll tell you something. I got to tell you a story about Carlos Arello when I played with the Knights. That goalie, Carlos is a good guy, but I tell you, we had a line brawl, and he skated right across the rink, and he went to sucker punch somebody. He missed, and he hit me. The guy I was fighting, he bopped me in the face, and he kind of looks at me, Willie, what's up? It was crazy. Sometimes goalies are, they get a little bit crazy. And I know from Ryan's spot too, he's took a few pucks. He's played some good hockey.
So you're saying you've not only taken pucks to the head, you've taken some fists too?
Well, I tell you, I ran in a little bit of trouble. Sometimes I ran in a little bit of trouble. We're gonna talk a little bit about Ryan here. He's played some hockey. He's played in the dub. He's played some really good hockey.
Yeah, no, he's an excellent teacher, not only a teacher, but a guy who's been there too. Been in the pro game, played the top level junior, has dealt with tons of pro players. And, when you think about the importance of goalie and the importance of teaching, for a goalie, it's probably more than it is for a skater than it is for anybody else on the ice.
They have to be in shape also. Always remember the goaltenders always being good skaters. You have to, sometimes the kids figure, I'm going to go in net. I'm not really going to do things because I'm going back. That's not working anymore. You have to skate just as good as the players.
Yeah, so that's why you were in a goalie, right, Willie? Can't skate.
Exactly. Stayed away from the goaltending. But I tell you something, I still scored more goals than Gerald. But we won't even go there. Like I said, we got a great show. We're going to break off the commercial. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk with Ryan Sear from the GDI and the rink, and we're going to go over some great things and some equipment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back at you.
Snowmobiling makes winter a special time. Snowmobilers care about the environment. They're firefighters, farmers, nurses, homemakers, teachers, and bankers. Snowmobilers are your neighbors and co-workers. They are good, respectful people who give to charities, plant trees, and help care for our fragile watershed areas. Snowmobilers are contributing citizens of your community who enjoy winter with an enthusiasm for nature, for life, and for the freedom that comes from it.
Welcome back to the Fourth Line Hockey Show. We're going to call on our guest. Ryan's here from the GDI in the Rink. Come on in, Ryan. Welcome to the Fourth Line Hockey Show.
Thanks, Willie.
You know, Ryan, we talked a little bit. Our intro was all. This show is all about goaltenders, and you know, we know you played some great hockey. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but we're going to talk about who is Ryan Sear.
Well, I'm a goalie. No, I moved out here in 2007 from British Columbia after I was done playing hockey with a goal and a vision to start a goalie training company out here in Winnipeg, and from there we've kind of grown into a nice little business for the community.
You know, Ryan, like we say, you are the president of the GDI, and what is GDI?
GDI stands for the Goaltender Development Institute. We're a year-round training facility located here in Winnipeg that offers goaltender instruction from the beginner level right up through we're working with National Hockey League goalies now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and I've known Ryan for a long time, and you know, Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your own personal career playing goal, and you know, where you've been and exactly what you've done?
For sure. I started out obviously playing at a fairly young age. I know Willie said earlier in the show that goalies had to be great skaters, and I was one of those, but for some reason they threw me between the pipes. I guess I didn't have any finish. From there, went on, started playing junior hockey in the BC Hockey League, then moved on to the Western Hockey League for 4 years, and after that played a couple years in the minor leagues, and that's when I decided it was time to pass on some of the knowledge that I gained throughout, you know, my playing days and working with some of the top coaches around the world, and throw it on to the young kids below me.
So Ryan, for you, what you have patented blocker, patented glove save? What was your specialty? Like, what were guys staying away from?
I don't know if there's one patented thing that I can think of now. She's been a while since I strapped them on, but we'll go with the patented glove save for that one.
The patented glove save, Beeks.
So tell us a little bit about GDI. Where are you guys? You know, give us your website information, all that sort of stuff about what you guys are all about.
Perfect. Yeah, we're located at 91 Lowson Crescent in the Rink-Training Center building. Our website's gdiprairies.com, and on that site you'll find all of our programming information, as well as we do you know, weekly and monthly tips on the position, and like to, you know, have our resources as available as possible to our clientele and our future clients.
I know, Ryan, you're there teaching the young players and that. Do you have any other helpers that are coming along that are helping out the other tenders?
Yeah, the way we kind of like to work things is we like to bring guys who we've coached up through our system and then, you know, build them into our instructors. So we've got right now Dan Ferguson, who's our director of goaltending. He's a local guy who's been with us since we started the company in 07. And then we've got 4 former Western League goaltenders that have come up through the GDI system who are all working for us now throughout their school schedules. That
is awesome. Some great help there, Beeks.
So if we could equate it a little bit, you know, it's tough for especially us non-goalies to understand. You know, you have the Martin Brodeur, kind of the old school style. You have the Jaguar or Carey Price, and they are very structured style. Then you got like the Marty Turco or what's his name from Boston, who's sitting out a year. Tim Thomas, kind of the all-over style. You know, what do you guys teach, and what are some of the points that maybe you could, you know, without giving out the caramel secret here, tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Well, obviously goaltending's changed, as you said, from Martin Brodeur now to the Carey Price type style. I think for us, our biggest thing is we like to work with the guys and see, especially as they're older, what their foundation is, and then it's not necessarily changing somebody's foundation as they, you know, are playing at a more experienced level, but building on it. So our big philosophy is we're not here to change you, we're here to build you to make your game more simple.
Now, you just don't run GDI. You're also assistant manager with the rink facility, training facility. What's that all about?
Well, the Rink-Training Center has been around since 2009, and what it is, it's a year-round player development center. So we've got our dryland training offered by Elite Performance, as well as our on-ice instruction led by Dave Cameron and John Cara. Sports psychology, nutritionist, everything. It's a one-stop shop for hockey training that I think is a great thing for the town of Winnipeg.
I know my boys have partaked in the power skiing there and worked on some programs. It's a great location, and you know, it's a great training facility.
Well, they got a nutritionist, Willie. Maybe you could.
Well, my shirt's a little bit tight. I know.
I don't think it's a shirt. No, but getting back to GDI. So, you know, if I'm a parent, I got a young tender who wants to get into it. You know, where do we go from? We come see you. What is a local or a regular program that my son or daughter could get involved with you guys?
Well, we're fortunate, Gerald, at the rink to have a 30 by 30 foot training sheet of ice where we do a lot of one-on-one lessons. That's our main program throughout the winter. We do a lot of specialty clinics that work on certain areas of your game, but for young guys starting out, our one-on-one lessons are definitely a key part to building your foundation and getting started in the net position.
That is huge. We're going to go to our break right now. We're going to do the Culligan Save of the Week. How good is that? The Culligan Save of the Week. We're talking about goaltenders. We're in the goalie pit here. We'll be right back at you guys. Fourth Line Hockey Show. We had a great save there from the Culligan Water guys. You know, we're going to talk this time about equipment. We're going to talk with Gerald Hasby, got my winger here with Royal Sports, who knows a whole lot about goalie stuff. And we're going to talk to Ryan Sear about the goalie stuff, a whole lot of goalie equipment. I'm staying out of it. I'm going to be the guy with the mic back and forth. I'm the winger for this part of the show. Well, let's go right at Gerald right now. Gerald, what do you got there, buddy?
Okay, so right now we're just going to talk about some pads, and I think, you know, goalies, opposed to most players, they're the ones who are the most affectionate about their equipment, and there's so much stuff out there, and you know, a lot of it tailors itself towards different styles of goalies. So right here we got actually Roberto Luongo's pad. So the biggest thing about, and this is his actual pad.
That's his actual pad?
This is the pad, the size he wears, really, and everything. Yeah. So the big thing you notice about this pad is one solid bar down the outside, no breaks. So that's a big thing with goal pads, about the breaks. So, you know, maybe Ryan will tell us a little bit about Luongo's style.
Yeah, Luongo plays the style that is more of a narrow butterfly type style. Obviously for that style you keep your heels behind you and your knees in front of you, so a stiffer pad with no breaks is going to allow you to do that, and it's also good for rebound control as far as hitting the inside and going right to the corners instead of out into the slot.
So Ryan, the type of pad assists the tender, what kind of position he plays, like the way he plays, if he's up and down goalie or whatever, the pad helps him out?
Definitely. I think, as Gerald said earlier, that, you know, goalies are real finicky about their equipment, and their equipment has a lot to do with how they play, and their style has a lot to do with what type of equipment they wear. And Gerald's got the single break pad here, which he's going to talk about. This is the pad that Carey Price wears. So
you'll notice on the outside roll on this pad, one break. So essentially, you know, this Luongo pad, very stiff. It's almost like one solid blocker, like you'd put on your, you know, on your non-catching hand. That's what Luongo has on his legs. And you know, a stiff pad like that, you got to be a very strong, athletic goalie. This one offers a little bit of flex, but it's almost like a blocker with a slight cut in it. So it offers some flex for a goalie like Carey Price, who I think right now is probably the most popular goalie in the NHL, especially with kids, as I see them coming in the store. So maybe Ryan will tell us a little bit about his style and how it applies to this pad.
Yeah, definitely. Carey's style obviously is very controlled and very technical, and with this pad what it allows you to do is to shut your 5-hole using your pads, not just your knees, and that single break allows the top portion of the pad to come in and meet the other pad and form that wall right between your 5-hole.
So Ryan, when would you know to replace your pads, or if you have to pick up some new ones, how does a tender know?
As you know, pads get older, or you grow, they tend to shrink a little bit and they get softened up depending on the style you like to play. I know a lot of guys now are switching to a firmer pad, and those pads obviously are going to have to be replaced a little bit more often. And the key when you are looking for a pad is to come to a place like Royal Sports here and get a selection, see what's out there, try it on, and see what fits best for your style.
It's just like buying skates, right? You have to put it on and fit it to your body type, your size, right, Jerry?
Yeah, it's a funny story about replacing pads. I was recently talking to who's replacing Luongo in Vancouver. What's it? Schneider.
Schneider.
And he goes with a new set of pads, and he was saying 6 to 8, and I thought he was talking weeks. No, he goes to the new pair of pads every 6 to 8 games, which I found wow. But so we got Ryan there. He's holding a pad that has double breaks. So we got 2 breaks here. So that's for, you know, for the guy who wants the most flex, and Ryan will tell us more about that type of goalie.
Yeah, the double break pad is definitely a pad that you're going to wear tighter to your leg. It's going to have a lot more feel that it's as one with your leg, and that's, you know, a type of pad that more of an older style type goaltender. I know if you look at Marty Turco, he would wear those. Martin Brodeur, he would wear, you know, the double break pad. And Timmy Thomas, another guy who's taking a year off but still playing, who would wear that double break pad. It's just a more pad that fits tighter to your leg, a little bit more mobile as one.
And that's a Vaughn pad, right?
Yes, it is.
That's a Vaughn pad. Now, can you tell us a little bit, Ryan, a little bit about the weight from back in the day when you played to the weight of the pads now?
Oh, it's incredible, you know, the difference in not just goal equipment or goal pads, but all equipment for goaltenders, the technology, the thought, the process that goes into building it. And I mean, I'm sure Gerald and the guys here that work down at Royal could tell you more specific pounds and ounces of pads and goalie gear, but from my opinion, it's just remarkable how far it's come.
That is huge. You know, we're going to get right to the mask. One of the most important things now is the goalie mask. My winger here still has his on, but it's going to be okay. We're going to talk about the other mask. Here we go.
Yeah, okay, well, so this is, you know, the biggest thing we get, one of the biggest questions we get at the store here is about the cat eye. And everybody loves the mask, but this is non-CSA approved. You have to be a, you know, professional Western Hockey League player. Actually, I don't think you can wear them in the Western Hockey League anymore. You got to be a professional beer leaguer to wear something like that. Now, they do offer CSA approved cat eyes. So this is a cat eye cage that you can wear minor hockey, Western Hockey League, or whatever the case may be. Well, Willie, we got your mask here. Hold on a sec here.
Oh, the jocker. There we go, the jock shot. We're coming on the top shelf with that one, brother. You know, it's been a great show today. We're going to come back a little bit with Ryan and shut it down. We're going to talk a little bit more about what GDI is, again, just shutting it down and getting back at it. What a great show here, talking about the pads, the masks, about goaltending. You know, very important parents out there that, you know, you come down here to Royal, look at Royal Sports Shop, look at some equipment, like they say, it's like buying skates. You have to be ready to get at it. We're going to break off right now for the Boston Pizza Goal of the Week. We'll go right now to the Goal of the Week, Boston Pizza. Welcome back to Fourth Line Hockey Show. We're back here with Ryan Sear from GDI and assistant dude with the Rink-Training Center. We talked all about equipment. We talked about goalie pads, masks. Like, we're going to talk a little bit more about who's Ryan's favorite goaltender growing up and his favorite tender today.
Well, Willie, growing up, I'd have to go with Patrick Waugh, and I'll tell a little story about it. I was a huge Patrick Waugh fan, and now I'm fortunate to work with John Clem at my other job out in Spokane as their goalie coach, and he was fortunate enough to play with Patrick Waugh. And the stories he tells me about him, just how hard the guy worked every single day in practice and how competitive he was. I think he's just a great role model for, you know, all kids my age growing up, and even for people now to look at from the past.
You can't go wrong with that guy. You know, he stopped a lot of pucks, and he was on fire.
Absolutely, especially that one save he made it in the finals. I think it was against New Jersey. He flipped his hand over, but he left the puck behind him, and they scored. That was, you know, that reminded me of you and your game.
That is not a fair shot towards, you know, the top goaltenders. Now, who's your favorite goaltender today?
Well, now, geez, being in the position I am of teaching that, you know, it's tough. I like so many things that so many different goalies do, but like we talked about earlier, Carey Price is definitely leading the charge with the youth, and I think that's just because his game is so modern and he's so up to date and so technically sound. So I think I'd have to go with Carey Price.
Carey Price, another good tender there, Jared.
Well, from my original favorite team, the Habs, and I was a big Patrick Waugh. Actually, I'm a little older than Ryan, so I was more of a Ken Dryden guy. Ken Dryden in the Flower. But so let me ask you this, Ryan. Do you think you're born a goalie or you become one?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well, obviously you've got to be born a goalie. I know you guys always joke about, or players joke about, why would you want to stand in front of a little piece of rubber? My philosophy has always been I'd rather get hit by a little, you know, couple ounce-pound piece of rubber coming at me 100 miles an hour than a 240-pound left winger like yourself coming barreling down against the boards at me.
I'll tell you, that's pretty true. Exactly. Now we're going to get Ryan. Tell us, okay, Ryan, what's one of your memories of you taking a puck in the head, a puck in the groin, or, you know, puck in the side? What's up?
Well, you know, unfortunately, one of my worst memories was I wasn't even playing in this game, but I was sitting on the bench. It was in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and my trainer gave me a little nod and said, "Hey, look at that blonde across the aisle." So I leaned over the boards to take a quick look, and sure enough, our defenseman made a beeline off the glass and out, you know, dump. Unfortunately, it hit the side of my head instead of the glass. So that's probably, you know, one of the worst puck experiences I've had.
I'll tell you, you know, and it happens to players also. Playing in the beer leagues here, I get give and go with a dude. He gives me a flick shot pass back and rings right off my noggin and gives me for 14 stitches. Gerald, you've had some experience sometimes with that, eh?
Oh yeah, I've taken pucks chin, mouth, nose, and you know, it's just all part of the game, I guess, part of the fun. But Ryan, why don't you tell us if any of the fans and viewers out there want to get their kids involved or want to know about you? How can they contact you? How do they find out about GDI?
Perfect. Yeah, you guys can contact us on our website by going to www.gdiprairies.com. There's an email us tab there. You just click that and it'll send an email to info@GDI-Prairies, or you can give us a shout at the Rink-Training Center at 489-7465.
Life is all about chances. Made, given, and taken. Chances missed. And chances that change everything. Chances to try, to fail, and then try again. Chances to grow. Chances to change. Chances to learn, teach, lead. Chances. It's all about what you do with them. Boys and Girls Clubs of Winnipeg. Donate. Check us out. Make the call.
What do you got there, Jimmy? What do you got for Plouffe to throw on his lid?
Well, I brought you a nice little selection to try out. We'll start with this guy because it's out of the box. I don't like trying too hard.
Perfect. Mitch, I'm going to pass this over to you if I can.
Sure
pass
thing,
that,
sir.
buddy. There you go.
All right, a big thing to realize with a lot of helmets, almost all of them are adjustable. Most of them are toolless adjustments right now. You see this guy right here? It's got a couple flaps. All you need to do, you open those flaps up, can open and close it. So it's not like this is only going to fit one guy. Let you try it out.
Perfect.
Slide
Here
that
we
on
go.
your pea-sized head.
Awesome. You know, here we go. We're going to put her on and get her going and right on top of Plouffer's head. So we can push it back, right, Jimmy? So as a parent, when you're buying it, you push it back and then get some of the click. I'll let you click it in there and you kind of fit me up there. And
let's see that other side. There you go. So the big thing you want to look for is that it's not moving. This so far is actually looking pretty good. You don't want a lot of room in between. You don't want any gap in there. But a big thing to check when you're trying on a helmet is get someone to hold it. Now I get you to shake your head for me. You see you're not really moving around up and down now? It's not moving out of place, which is what I like to see. What you're seeing out a lot of guys, I'm going to loosen this up here, is either they're wearing too small of a helmet and they like to wear it up here a little bit. That's not doing anything. That's not protecting you. You've got the visor sitting up here. It's not doing anything for you. You're sliding around. It's too tight. Or the guys who are wearing it too big. Again, let's get that going for you, Willie.
That on there. Here we go. Oh yeah, that just shakes. And
you take a fall. Even you're skating on the outdoor rink. You catch an edge and you fall. What's that doing for you? It's not helping you at all. You want that guy nice and snug. You don't have to hurt your head. You don't have to squeeze it tight, but snug that it's not moving around. How's that feel?
That feels pretty good. And Jimmy, what about some of I see some of the parents talk about a little bit where you got the chin strap. The helmet's too big, so they jack on the chin strap, and poor Johnny is like choking in there. But they figure that they're fixing the problem by having the chin strap super tight, helmet loose. Not going to work, is it?
No. The helmet is what should fit you. The chin strap is just there so that if you get hit, that helmet gets hit, it doesn't fly off your head. It keeps it from going up. But it's not what's holding it down. It should be fitting on your head naturally.
So a couple key points here is that when you have the lid on, you want to make sure you can't shake around. You're holding it tight, and you're not shaking. When you're shaking it, your lid's not your helmet is not moving around.
Exactly. Now I'll show you something quick here on this particular helmet that a lot of helmets have to help that fit. You see right here, this guy moves in. Well, you've got a bone in the back of your head there. Yep. So some of the higher end helmets, what they do to try and help that fit is they'll have an adjustment on the back that pushes it in on the back. So you're getting fit on the front and the sides, and it locks to the back. That's what's going to keep it from moving around a little bit more, give a little added protection. What you're looking for in a helmet is that it's not squeezing your temples. You don't want it to hurt, but you want it tight. And that's why you shouldn't be going, hey, my buddy wears this, or this pro player is wearing this helmet, I want that helmet. That helmet might not be the right shape. Every company's got a different shape. Your head might be a little rounder than my head. Yeah. Mine might be a little more square. Try on a bunch of different helmets. One of those is going to fit you tighter.
So true. Mitchell, I want to say, like, you know, look at the helmets coming back from the day, like, you know, back, you know, 15, even 20 years, even 5 years ago. What a change of helmets. Like, I would never imagine the back of the lid there can be adjusted so it's sitting properly on your head.
Exactly. You know, and you talk about, I think that's something that really speaks to the technology, the versatility, and everything that's coming out to make helmets fit better. And I think it's partially, you know, to make it, make the helmet quality so it lasts a long time, but also because of protection mechanisms that are out there now.
Right. Jimmy, what do you got there, bud? You got a little bit different one?
Yeah, I got a different helmet here, and the other thing I wanted to get you to try on, because, you know, we're talking about a lot with kids. A lot of parents want to help their kids out. Well, kids are still wearing cages. You know, people forget about the fit of a cage on a helmet. So I want to get you to try a bucket on with a cage there, see how you look in that.
We better be careful here, Willie. You're going to look like a hockey player soon.
No kidding. You know what? We don't want that happen. Never know what's going on here. Wow, that is comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty sweet lid. That feels pretty, the bucket feels comfortable on me.
Okay, let's take a look at the bucket, though.
I hope these are the only bars I look through the rest of my life, you know, like, honestly.
So first we're going to look at the helmet. And shake your head for me. Yeah, that's looking nice and tight, just like before. It's comfy, but I want you to look at the camera here, show that. You see how it's not really, the chin cup's not really fitting up on there? It's hitting your chin too early?
Yeah.
See, that's not going to be good for you. What a lot of people don't realize is, hey, I got a medium helmet, well, I'm going to wear a medium cage, but that might not fit your kid. He might need a large cage. You might need a small cage to see. You don't want that the chin cup sitting down here and then you get hit and that chin cup gets you in the chin and hits you hard, but you also don't want it choking you, keeping your mouth closed.
And hence the fact, all the times when you see players wearing them and they get rocked, and the bigger guys, and they get cut up right there because it's not fitting properly. The cage is not on properly, right?
Exactly. So what you got to do is be willing to, it doesn't mean that because this cage comes on this helmet that's the cage you have to use. You can swap them out, get a bigger sized cage. What you want is you want this chin cup sitting loosely on the chin so you can still talk, and you want it there to support you, but it shouldn't be keeping it closed. It shouldn't be fitting the helmet just like that chin strap is.
Yeah, and Jimmy, when it comes to cages, obviously there's a bunch of different kinds. There's obviously your chromes, straight up gray, just like that one. Some people have the black, some have white, some have black on the outside, white on the inside. Is that purely just for vision, or is it other reasons as well?
Vision and style. You know, a lot of people like those chrome cages because they look good. Doesn't mean it's really going to affect your vision much. Realistically, you know, if you haven't worn a cage in years, it's going to look awkward. You're going to see them. But the human eye is a great thing. You wear a cage long enough and you don't even notice it's there regardless of what you've got on. What some of the companies are doing, though, what they like to do is they try to give kind of like this, where it's an almost chrome. So it still looks good, but it's not as shiny, doesn't attract the eyes. And this one doesn't have, but some actually have pinched steel. So it's thinner, but still just as strong. You know, they're trying to give you the most eyesight you can while keeping your face protected. You know, this isn't just for kids. There are plenty of guys in the rec leagues. You got to go to work the next day. You don't want to take a puck in the chin and cut that right open.
So
it's great to protect your face.
I wear, you know, I don't wear a cage in rec hockey or a visor, but I'm going back to it. A lot of things have been happening where, you know, like you're saying, you need to go back and you want to go back to work. You don't want to lose an eye, and most important, you want a helmet that fits. You know, I can say I'm a culprit. I have my helmet loose and flipping around. I took a spill, you know, about a year ago, and it's like, whoa, I have a proper helmet now. I think one of the most important things, Mitch, is the fact that Jimmy talked about fitting properly, right, Jimmy?
Absolutely. Fit is number one.
Yeah.
Comfort should be there. You don't want it hurting the kid. It shouldn't be too tight. You have to wear it where it's, you know, on your head, square to your face, and comfortable.
And the cage, right? That's most important too. Kids are wearing cages. They have to fit properly.
Yeah. If the cage is just sitting there, it's just for show. It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
It's okay to, if you can't afford to get a new helmet, or you can't get a new helmet, if you do buy a second use helmet, you have to make sure it fits, right? Or
Absolutely.
If you get it handed down from your bigger brother or bigger sister, it has to fit. Most important, you want to keep, you know, the marbles together.
Absolutely, it's an important thing. You know, you want that head to be protected, and you get a second-hand helmet. It fits good. The cage fits awkward. Well, a cage, you know, get a new cage for that. You can still use the same helmet. Swap the cage out. Get something that's going to fit. That's going to protect them.
I touched the ball before it went out, Coach.
Alex. Good call.
Sportsmanship. Pass it on.
You don't need a media monkey. Think for yourself. A message from Concerned Children's Advertisers.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to have my seat?
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Thank you, dear.
You make me feel so young.
Think young. Pass it on.
You make me feel so spring.
What a great show we had today. We talked about goaltending. We talked about equipment. We had Ryan Sear in from GDI in the rink. Gerald, we had a great show today. It's been a good time.
Yeah, it's been great, and it just shows goaltending such a diverse position, whether we talk about all the gear, all the different training. So, there's a lot of resources on the web. Call Ryan, come by Royal Sports. There's a lot of different views on how to play the position and where to go, and none of them are essentially right, but, right for each particular goalie.
Yeah, I have to say that, everybody's different, and I want to thank Ryan for coming out. Thanks, First Line Show, Ryan, coming out and hanging out, and we'll see you guys next week. We got a great show. Tune in. We're going to be talking about maybe some heavyweights, some scrappers for next week. Talk to you later.
The opinions expressed on the program you have just watched are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of this station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.